Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is the nose. All right, I've got my nose information sheet right here. As you can see, there are not really very many solid lines involved in your nose. It's basically all shadow. That's because your nose is cartilage coming forward in space, and it's pretty much one of the only parts of your body that really, of your face that really comes forward a whole bunch. So your only hard lines are going to be in this area, and the rest is going to be shadow, since that's really how you perceive the outline of your nose anyway. So you're going to look at your Prismacolor pencil. Bring me a Prismacolor pencil. Somebody that's paying attention. That's no one, apparently. Thank you. Okay, so you're going to start your nose right down here, okay, at this line. This line right here is basically this spot right on your nose right here, okay? It's this spot right here. So you can build your nostrils off of that. So, let's see. All right, so looking at my diagram right here, I'm going to look at my nostrils. I'm going to see how big they are. Remember to look in your mirror the same way you looked in your mirror when you did your eyes. If you are looking down into your mirror, you are going to have really big nostrils. If you're looking into your mirror, like up at the mirror, you're going to have smaller nostrils. You really want to just be looking straight at the mirror. So look at your eyes, figure out what you were doing there, do the same thing, okay? If you have your eyes looking down and your nose looking like it's looking up, you're going to be all kinds of crazy in your self-portrait. So I'm going to draw my nostrils. Yes, they exist on your face. You have them. Don't be embarrassed because boogers come out of there. You got to draw them, okay? So I've got my nostrils. They're really just like little dark areas on my face. And then outside, you have the outer part of your nostrils. So they're not going to be right up against it. I need them to be backed up just a little bit. If you have any helper lines in the area, you should erase them. All right, and then I'm going to do my outer nostrils. They're not huge. But again, look at your nose and see where your outer nostrils need to be. And then that's pretty much it for hard lines. The rest is shadow. You need to be concerned about the direction that you are creating your shadow. This is why we're using those Prismacolor pencils, because they smudge really easily, so they create really nice shadow. But if you make your lines for your shadow going down, it will make your nose look like it's caving into your face, okay? You want your lines of your shadow to be going up. So you're going to look in the mirror and you're going to see, where does shadow hit my nose? You will probably have more shadow on one side than another, because light source will be hitting you from one direction and then the other direction is going to be darker. So you're going to have to look at your nose. But even though there's your light source, that doesn't mean that there's going to be no shadow on the other side. There's just going to be less shadow on the other side. So if I've got my light source hitting me over here, guys, recording. If I have my light source hitting me over here, then my dark part of my nose is going to be on the other side. And I, again, want my shadow lines to be veering upwards, so that makes my nose look like it's coming forward in space. And then I've got just fewer shadow lines on the other side. Not none, just fewer. Because I've got to create the outline of that side. Now, from here, I'm going to start to even go into the shadow in my eye area, because your shadow in your eye and your nose areas are really, really connected. So I've got my shadow coming from off of my nose into my eye area, and then same is true over here. I've got some brow bone action happening, so I know that I've got shadow in my eye area even if the light source is over there. All right. Now once I have it mapped out pretty well where my shadow is going to be, then I'm going to take my finger and I'm going to start to smudge it a little. And that'll take away all of those like liney pencil marks that I had to do to create that shadow. You can even use a tissue to smudge if you don't want to get your fingers dirty. But after I've got it smudged, it looks more like shadow, right?
That looks really, really good.
Now, if you feel like you need to have a stronger highlight than you have, because as you can see, I got some pencil shadow in my nose, the bridge of my nose. If you feel like that highlight needs to be stronger, it's really as simple as just erasing. All right? And there's my highlight back. But I personally think my highlight should be a little softer, so I'm going to smudge it in a little bit more. All right? You've also got shadow under your nose, specifically like right in here where you've got right above your lip. But your nose comes out in space, so you're going to have shadow under your nose. All right, and then I'm going to go back in and I'm going to add in my shadows along my eyes. And you guys might remember from looking at this that there's shadow on the inside of your eye, but also under your brow bone. So don't miss out on that shadow under there. And don't go crazy with your shadow, because you might decide that you want your color to be color at the end. You're going to have some options for how you're going to finish this off, and we'll talk about that later. All right?